Hello, my name is Adam Anderson, and we're going to be diving into a quick overview of what a cybersecurity Tiger team is, why you would use them, what do they look like, and when it's appropriate to engage. So, there are two different kinds of cybersecurity. Those are the kind of cybersecurity engagements where we understand the known threats and we also understand what we don't know. And so if you look at risk, impact, attack vector, mitigation, response, these are all the things. And if you understand what those threats are, then what we do is we deploy what we call a blue team. A blue team is a group of cybersecurity professionals equipped with technologies such as firewalls, endpoint management, antivirus, et cetera, that we understand how to deploy to address those different concerns and those different threats. But when we don't know what the risk, impact, attack vectors, mitigation, response are, then we need to have something more aligned with the red team. And a red team is an offensive cyber team that does penetration testing, tries to breach and discover the risks, impact, attack vectors, mitigation, and response that the adversary is going to use, and then equip the blue team to defend against it. So red teams discover, blue teams mitigate. What happens is that eventually you get to a situation where you cannot follow this process and you have an emergency. And when you have an emergency, that's when you deploy a Tiger team. A Tiger team is a kind of red team that responds to emergencies, but it is custom built at the time. You pull the best of the best resources possible to deploy against the threat or to the opportunity in front of you. So a cybersecurity Tiger team is a group of highly skilled experts with a very defined goal or a very defined emergency. Think of it as a team of ER doctors that are custom built as soon as the patient hits the emergency room. So when do you use them? Well, there's a lot of reasons to use them, ranging from an emerging threat that you don't understand all the way to compliance requirements. But at the end of the day, the time you use a Tiger team is when the impact of not addressing the cyber risk outweighs the need to follow processes, procedures, and move slowly. So when speed is a concern, when effectiveness is a concern, that's when you use them. And it's pretty obvious here that the benefits are around that specialized skill set and that adaptive response. The primary limitations are that these are expensive engagements. It's hard to build those teams. And then after the team is successful, it's hard to collaborate with those blue teams to make sure that what we do actually sticks around. The risk mitigation actually stays. And the final part here, what I really want to point out, is it's the limitations of technology. Tiger teams are not people who deploy products. Tiger teams are ethical hackers. They're team leaders. They are people who come in, and that's the human value that is being delivered, not the technology value. So a limitation is sometimes it's difficult to understand exactly what we are about to do as a Tiger team, and that makes it difficult to do business with. And that's why we typically don't deploy Tiger teams unless there's an emergency or a high need. So this is what that process looks like. First, we identify the need, and then we build the team. After we have the team built, the team assesses the situation, identifies vulnerabilities and weaknesses, creates a plan to secure and to mitigate those vulnerabilities and weaknesses, discovers what the desired steady state is after the resolution of the risk, and then transfers all of the responsibilities over to a blue team. This can take anywhere from a couple of weeks to a couple of months, depending on the actual engagement and the threat that we are trying to mitigate. That is a high-level overview. We've created a 21-page white paper that you can find on anzuscapital.com/tiger that goes into much, much more detail about this emotional journey from being okay to being unokay, and then what do you do with cybersecurity after that breach has happened, the incident has happened, and then it's time to do something. I hope you have an amazing day. Thanks for spending time with me.